Hello everyone, this is Robin Carter and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator out of Flower Mound, Texas. And today I'm here to share my fourth set of alternates, and then I will also go back over quickly all the others to show you how I got 30 cards out of this paper pumpkin kit with very limited supplies. So this is the June 2023 Welcome In Paper Pumpkin Kit. So before we get started, let me thank those of you who have subscribed to my channel, and I hope you find some tips that I share along this video helpful. And then if you are brand new to my channel, or maybe you have seen some of my videos but have not subscribed, I would really appreciate if you would subscribe by hitting the subscribe button below. And then you can also ring the bell for notifications of when I post my next videos. So before I get started, let's take care of some business. So today is July 9th. So tomorrow is the very last day you can subscribe for the Fun in the Sun Paper Pumpkin Kit, which will be for July of 2023. So I'm looking forward to this kit, but I went through my stash to see what else could coordinate. And I found an old paper pumpkin kit called A Little Smile back from June of 2019. And this used to be in the kits collection, and I just looked before this video. I did not see it in English. I did see it in French, so you would at least get the images. I guess the wording would be in French. So I don't know if they're taking this one out of the kit collection or not, but maybe you've been a subscriber and already have this. I mentioned this before, so maybe you grabbed it up before it went away. And then also I found a bundle. Now would be more of what I would consider an avid alternate, is when I use additional stamp sets and dies out of the annual catalog. So this is the Season of Chick stamp set and coordinating dies. So here, so there are stamps and dies for all 4 seasons. As you can see here, there are shells, flowers, leaves, snowflakes, some grunge, some nice sentiments. And so let me show you where that is at. So this is the Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog, and you can find it on page, all thumbs, can't even get that tab I put there. Anyway, it's on page 40 of the annual catalog. This is the stamp set, and I really do like how they did their examples here. But this shows the actual size of the stamps. My case, they're a lot smaller, so they could fit them all on there. And the coordinating dies are on page 163. So let me just find those real quick. So they are back here. Again, just a small image to show you where the dies are. So the stamped set item number is 158810, and the dies are 158815. So what I particularly hope to use is this for some background detail. This shell I tried in Petal Pink with Pebbled Path. This one I tried with Moody Mauve, and this one I tried with Bubble Bath. Now, this is a stamp, and it has a coordinating die to cut it out. There is also a detail die, which you could lay over the top of one of those. Maybe in the Pebbled Path, put that over some brushed Petal Pink, or do the Petal Pink full stamp and then do this in Pebbled Path. That would probably look neat. But also, which do not have stamps, there's 2 additional shells. So you can see it right there, and I cut it out with this. So it'll give me 2 additional shells that I can work with to bring into the Fun in the Sun kit. So that's what I hope to use to coordinate to make more avid cards with the July kit. All right, so let's put this away, and then we can get started. That's all the business to take care of. Oh, one more thing. So if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber of mine, you will receive this sleeve to store your stamp set in, and it also holds the dies that coordinated with this set. So this is a small envelope. Sometimes the stamps are big and require the large envelope. So whichever size fits it is what you will get. You also get a 1-inch square of the coordinating cardstock so that you can store your spot upside down. That way the ink is ready to go on the top of the ink spot. So these generally come out the next month. I kind of wait till I have all my supplies done, and if you place an order also you will get your bonus from me. So by the way, I did update my host code. I decided to go ahead and close that other host code and started a new one for July and the first part of August. So it is here. So any orders of $50 or more using this host code will receive a special gift from me alone. And then if your merchandise total is $150 or above, go ahead and do just a regular customer order and do not use this host code. But if you select me as your demonstrator, then you will also still get a special gift from me, as well as earn the Stampin' Rewards that you receive from Stampin' Up when your merchandise total is $150 or more. So let's get started with the alternates. Enough gabbing. So this alternate, I actually was inspired, I don't know if it was Paper Pumpkin Fan Club or the Paper Pumpkin Demonstrator Kit, but I really liked this design, and I tried not to use other people's design, but I really like this one. But I want to give you some tips of how I put this around, and also some tips with the flowers. So let me show you how I used the Welcome In stamp set to create this border around the image. So if this is your design, speak up, and I would love to give you credit for this. But I wanted to show people how to use this, so that's why I'm using it. So I cut one image. That one has a little spot on it. I cut a blank white out of the Countryside Inn dies. And let me just show you before I get started. So how I do all stamps that have coordinating dies is I put the stamp on here somewhere where it's not within 1 inch of the hinge, and then I do it in a dark ink and I stamp. Okay, so that puts the image on my grid sheet. Now this one is, if it's a photopolymer stamp, I have the deluxe mat, and this is the Stamparatus. This is no longer available, sadly, but there are many other stamping position tools. This is just my favorite, so I'm going to continue to use it. So I laminated a grid sheet just to use with rubber stamps. I could do it directly on here, but I find I need it lifted up just a little bit more. Maybe that's just my Stamparatus, but that way I can also take this away and do other things. All right, so there that is. So I have my negative put here, and then I'm going to put my cutout piece inside. Now you may find that sometimes it's not symmetrical. Let me see if I can show you. Well, mine kind of is, so I don't think it matters. But sometimes, even though it looks symmetrical, they're not exactly symmetrical. So to get this outside border, I just put this here. I have this here. And then I have my piece to go in the center as a mask to hide, so it won't stamp the other images on that. So I just put that in the center. I know it's probably hard to see the white on white, but it'll show in a minute. So as you can see, the other pieces are going to stamp on this mask that I've created. So let me just go around with my Calypso Coral ink spot and stamp up the whole thing. I'm trying to go fast, so we'll see if I got it all. Okay. So then I just close. I press all around. Yes, I have another stamp on this side. That's one of the reasons I love the Stamparatus, is we can use both sides of the plates. All right, let's take a peek to see if it's all on there. Let's see if I missed pressing or if I misinked it. Okay, I just didn't press, I guess. Okay, so there we go. So I can remove the mask. And then I have just this piece with the border. So I hope that gives you an idea of how to use the countryside in one big stamp. I was kind of surprised when I got it and it was one big stamp. I kind of thought they would be all cut out and just kind of nest. But good thing is I won't lose any of the inside pieces because they're all attached. All right. So I hope that helps show you a way of how to use these on just one layer rather than layering and layering. All right, so I didn't find instructions, but I pretty much just eyed what she did here. He or she, I guess. And so they used this stamp that was in our stamp set. And I'm just gonna, you know what, I'm gonna get my Stampin' Pierce mat, which makes it easier because your photopolymer stamps don't have any cushion, and I find this really helps give a good impression when I use that. Okay, good job. All right, and now I have already pre-stamped a pot, which I thought I put in the envelope. Here's my card base. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I pre-stamped a vase. Now I have found with the vase, the more you use it, the better of an image you're going to get. Now I also used a white eraser on mine to really kind of get any film that's on there from when they're made. And as you can see here, that made a pretty crisp image. So if you're having trouble, just keep using it. Try the white eraser. You can also ink it first with Versamark and then with your ink, and that'll help the ink absorb. So I'm going to apply this with dimensionals. Now I cut my dimensionals in half. I'll have to cut some more. Let's just get them from down here. I do use the whole sheet, so no need to, whoops, flying dimensional. Okay. So I'm also going to show you some tips on the flowers, how to make them kind of come alive a little better. All right, I'm going to put this just where a few leaves show below and above. All right, now the flowers. So I have pre-stamped some flowers as well. But I'm going to change this one up and use blue, boho blue flowers. Stamp those. So as you can see, they're pretty flat. Now these, I've already kind of cheated and showed you what I did. So they just kind of look kind of boring, I guess. So what I did is I took this out of the Take Your Pick tool. So this is the Take Your Pick tool. It comes with a pokey end, and then this is an option that you can put in this end. I just leave it out and use it by hand. And then a putty comes on this end. I'll show you it. But I take it out and just use it individually as well, so I don't keep accidentally turning the putty out and wasting it. But just this time, they have an additional product for the catalog. So this is a crafting knife that goes into the putty end. So you want to be real careful with that because I'm sure it's super sharp. And then, here, I just got this in. It's called the Take Your Pick Crafters Tips. So its item number is 161602, and it comes with 3 additional products. So one is that crafting knife, which I just showed you. It also has a perforating cutter here that you can put in the putty in. And then it also has this really fine, if I can get it out of the box. Okay, there we go. A really fine tip. So you can either pierce with this, or if you have little bitty items to get out of a die, that's even smaller than the tip it comes with, as well as this neat hook kind of tip. Can you see that? Okay, so I thought I would add that to my stash to go with my Take Your Pick tool. So I have actually a couple of them so I can keep the ends ready to go. I just find that easier for me. Anyway, okay, so that is a new product I got. Anyway, I take this stylus and I use the bigger end and I just go to the flowers over my Stampin' Pierce mat and just poke, and that helps the leaves to pop up. Can you see that? So you're left with this versus that. I know I have an inky finger. I always have inky fingers. All right, so let me do this last two. And you can kind of go around, and if you don't like it, kind of turn it, do it some more. Now, unfortunately, my sleeves that I put them in kind of flattens them, so you may not have been able to see that. All right, and if they're still not like you like, you can even mush them up more. Okay, so that kind of makes the leaves come to life, and now I'm going to put them on my card with dimensionals. And let's see if minis work. So I'm just going to take a mini dimensional and put it on that one. I'm going to kind of stick him out here. Whoops. And then after you get them on there, you can still fluff up the leaves. All right, he's going to hang over the pot some. And of course, I'm out on that one. Let me just cut a piece off. It just takes a little bit anyway. Okay. And then this one down here. And one more blue one. So these are boho blue, by the way. All right, so there is that one versus that one. I kind of like the blue. I thought I'd try something different. Now, the sentiment I'm going to use is sending hugs, and that comes from, I have lots of goodies out. It's the $1 Million set that $1 Million Achiever Rachel Tesman created, and that's what this stamp came from. And it also has great other sentiments that we're going to use. Here it is. It's called Layering Leaves. This would be a great set to get if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. One, it has leaves that coordinate with the bow punch. So you could either punch it in white or green. And I did use this in one of my other alternates. You will see in a minute. But it has some great sentiments and I love the script. And it fits really well right here. So I'm going to get my big 9 and Navy pad and ink that up well. Oops. If you get it inside, you might just want to get it off because you're likely to get a boo-boo. But if I get a boo-boo, I will cover it up with a label. So again, you just have to set your stamp down. You don't even really have to mash real hard. So just set it down with just a fine amount of pressure so you don't get any of the inside. And then you lift it up and I got a great image there. So that's fantastic. Okay, so then I just, I have my card base. And I did cut out the center of this because we're going to use that in our second card. All right, so I'm going to adhere this and I'm going to use my Tombow multi-purpose glue, which I have in a fine tip glue bottle. And these fine tip glue bottles are also part of my favorite things collection. Okay. And let's try to get this in the center. All right, that looks pretty good. Whoops, it's cut, so it's kind of delicate. All right, and then I cut the center out of this one with the one smaller than this, so it's probably the third largest die. And let's adhere this on. All right, now there is a direction of this, sort of, at least with the animals. I know I said that on one of my videos, and then when I was looking at it afterwards, I was like, yeah, I didn't do as I said. I got it upside down. So I did fix it. I cut it off and cut off the front and just add it to another card. Okay, so it won't matter that there's holes in that because we are going to put this over that. So since the vase and the leaves are on dimensionals, I'm going to go ahead and glue this flat. For mailing purposes, that'll help it be less bulky. All right. And try to get that. I'm just going to eyeball that for center. So there is that card. Thank you for the inspiration, whoever came up with stamping that behind and kind of the leaves like that. All right, so let's put this one away and get working on our second one. So it is very similar to one I did before, but it does use the smaller die cut. So this one's going to be fast, I promise. So I have already put on a white panel that was embossed with the Countryside Blooms embossing folder. And then here is the piece we cut out. And I have a piece of Calypso Coral here. Now I did the same thing, so you're going to get to see that again. I get out my Countryside in. Now this one is smaller. So I had a template for this one as well. So of course I had class Thursday and all my stuff is kind of awry. So I'm sorry, we're not going to do that one. We're going to do this one so it works. There we go. All right, so find my template. I've had to regroup all my supplies and make sure it's in there. See, I don't think that's quite symmetrical that way. I'm going to turn it around because I can kind of see white behind it. This one you might be able to see easier because of the Calypso Coral. So I put my other piece there, my mask, to use as a mask, and then we're going to ink this up again. I should put a stamp set under there to help raise it up. And what I mean by that is these are the perfect size to help your lid stay higher and not at an angle. All right, let's give this a whirl. Make sure it's inked well. All right, just pressing around all where that frame is, and let's see if I got it inked all over. I did. I don't know why. I need to do a little more pressing on this side, the sides. Okay, that looks good. So take it out, and now we have stitching around that side. Just give this a quick clean. This is a fourth of my chamois. I cut it in half and then cut one half in half again. So it was easier to work with the Stamparatus on that. Okay, we're going to adhere this. Now this one, you really didn't even have to worry about masking it because this would cover it up as well. I just showed you again how to, excuse me, that sneeze came out of nowhere. How to mask it if you wanted to use just one. All right, turn it right side up. And about lost my thing. All right, so this is going to go here. And then I'm going to show you, I used the It's the All That dies again, which I've showed those before, and I love it. But I was wondering on this one if I'm going to use a different label. I think I'm going to use the same one because it doesn't cover up as much of the design. This is also from that same Layering Leaves set. So ink that up well. All right, and I'm going to do this. So much doesn't look very inked. All right, do my best to center it and straighten it. That looks pretty good. All right, so one tip I have is I'm trying to use all the parts. So I thought this would be cute on each end, but as you can see, it's kind of big. So all I did was take my snips, cut off at each end. You could make more, but since these were equal, I wanted to use those. I'm gonna use a glue dot because that's what we get with most paper pumpkin kits. We didn't this time. We got adhesive strip. This is your first kit. You could just do a little strip of your adhesive strip. Okay. Take off the end. I know I'm using the spatula, but that's what I grabbed. It works. Okay, and then I'm going to use my grid paper and make sure I get this kind of equal. So let's see if I can, yep, about there is equal. So I'm going to stick this under here to about that amount. Can you see that? I know it's kind of small. Whoops. It didn't stick to the label. I may have to move that other one in because I cut this one shorter. You know what? Sometimes it's best just to eyeball things. That looks pretty good. Let's bring this one in so it doesn't stick out so far. I don't think anyone's going to measure that and say, Robin, that one's 1 millimeter bigger. Okay, so then we're going to put that on here. And this is again where you could decide, do you want all of that on dimensionals, kind of like I did here, or this here. I did have some retired ribbon that I added underneath, but if you don't have that, this looks just as well, or you could put a piece of Night of Navy from your card base. So I also added the embellishments that are part of the in color embellishment set, but again, you can use what you have. And so that is my last alternate with this kit, and it uses every single card base in the kit. So as I said, I'm going to review with you and show you how I got 30 out of this kit. So I haven't completed all mine, but as you know, you got 4 of these printed things like this. So I took 2 card bases, right? And you can make 4. I only have 3 done. But you also cut out the center, and you cut it out with the 3rd or 4th die, okay? And then with some boho blue cardstock, you can make this card. So again, you'll have 4 cutouts from this one. So you can make 4 like this. Now I used the timeless arrangements here in my flowers, but here you can see how I made my own vase with the supplies of the kit. It has this nice little vine stamp, so don't take that off until you're ready to put it away. And I created my own with what's in the kit. You could do something like that. Okay, so that's 8 right there. So we had 1 more card base left. So I created 2 of these. Okay, and this one, I cut out the center of the designed piece. I did use a full piece of the Night of Navy here. Okay, so that's up to 10. The inside I used on this card. Now this was my original and I thought it wasn't interesting enough, so I added a boho blue. All right, so this is 12. and you'll have one vase left over. And then I created 3 of these using some of the Night of Navy card bases. And this is a vase included in this kit. I think I've lost count. Is that 15? Okay, and then you can make 3 of these. I've just done 2. And in this video, I showed you an easier way to get this lined up. So you'll create 3 of these because you have 3 of these pieces. I think that's 18. So with the inside cut out of this, you can create 3 of these. Is that 21? 21 or something like, no. After this, I think. All right, and then I think I did 3 of these because these pieces were included in the kit. All right, and then the ones we just made, you can create 3 of these. 3 of these we just made, and 3 of these. So let's see, 3, 6, excuse me, get these back, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and then these did 8. Somehow I miscount, but anyway, trust me, it's 30 if you count them correctly. So maybe I missed one in there. But, so you can easily get 30 beautiful cards using basically all the supplies from the kit with some additional cardstock like the boho blue, and I did bring in the timeless arrangements and the bow punch. But you could create your own flowers there using the flowers in the kit. So I hope you've enjoyed all my alternates. If you missed any, they are on my YouTube channel. Just click on the videos and you will see all of those for this kit, as well as any other past kits you may have on hand and want to use, find some additional inspiration for. So as I said, I was going to do an unboxing of the Boho Beach kit. So I'm going to do this on my next video, so please subscribe, and I'm hoping this kit may coordinate with the July as well, and if not, then I will do my own creations making alternates with it. It's a fairly new kit in the kits collection on the Stampin' Up website, and its item number is 162418. So be looking for that, and then as I said, tomorrow is your last day to subscribe to get the July paper pumpkin kit. So until my next video, I hope you've enjoyed all these alternates. Give this a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.